Hi there, welcome to my Farmville 2 video on managing visitors. Now, as you'll see here, I have 3 visitors, and this visitor is going to affect these 5 plots right here. This visitor here is going to affect this grove of trees and something else. I can't see what else, but as you'll see if I mouse over the visitor, how that grove of trees lights up, and let's see if I can see what else she's going to hit. I don't know. This guy here looks like he's just going to hit livestock. So anyway, we're going to deal with this guy here first, and these are the plots that he's going to hit. So what I'm going to do here, just to demonstrate, if I clicked on him right now, these are unfertilized plots. So if I clicked on him right now, he would fertilize all 5 of these. So in order to demonstrate what's going to happen here, I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to speed feed 2 of these plots, that one there and that one there. So these are going to be completely ripe and empty. Let's get rid of the speed feed, and we've got soybeans there. So I'm going to take both of these soybeans off, and so these are empty. And let me get myself out of the picture here. This is going to be a completely empty plot, and this is going to be a seeded plot. And I'm just going to seed this real quick with a soybean, but not water it. Okay. Now the next plot is a seeded watered plot, and then the next one is a seeded watered fertilized plot. So I'm going to fertilize this plot, and I'm also going to fertilize this plot as well. This plot here is just going to be an extension of this for the demo. Besides, I just want him to ripen that. So at this point, he's going to fertilize this plot without doing anything else. It's just going to fertilize because he's affecting an empty plot. So what that does is that allows that plot to fertilize so that when you do plant on it, it's going to be a fertilized crop. This is dry, so all he's going to do on this plot is he's going to water it. And then this one here is unfertilized, so he's going to fertilize this one. And then these 2 here, he's going to go ahead and, let me get myself back out of the way here. On both of these are going to ripen. So essentially what happens with a visitor is a visitor accomplishes the very next action that was going to happen on that plot or on that grove. So I'm going to go ahead and accept his visit. And once again, as you'll look at the 5 plots, it starts at the empty one and goes to the fertilized one. So we're going to have a fertilized empty plot. We're going to have a seeded plot that's unfertilized but watered. We're going to have this plot right here that he's going to fertilize because it's unfertilized now. And then these 2 are going to be ripened. So let me go ahead and click on him, and you'll see exactly what he does as he goes through his process. There is a fertilized plot. Now he's going to water that one, so that's growing. And this one here he's just fertilized. And these 2 here he's ripening. So I can go ahead and pick these 2 now because they're ripe. Alright, so if I go over this next one, there's absolutely nothing I can do. I have to wait. It says it's a fertilized soybean, as I said he was going to do, fertilize, which is the very next action that that plot could have had. Now this one here is unfertilized, this one, and because he just came in and watered it. The watering was the next action. Now this is the interesting plot because it's completely empty. But now if I plant a soybean on this plot, you'll see that it's going to be a fertilized soybean after I water it. So I'm going to water it. And now, let me get myself out of the way. Now you can see that the plot that was empty is now fertilized and ready to grow. Okay, now let's move on to our next visitor. And as I can tell, as I can see, we've got a new visitor in here since then. Okay, this visitor here is going to affect this grove right here. Now, I don't really need this grove right away, so for the purposes of this demonstration, I'm going to let her, let me see, this is a 12-hour, and that's, okay, I'm going to go ahead and let her harvest this one So what I need to do in order for her to harvest this is I'm going to just go ahead and hit this fertilizer button and fertilize it. Now this one here, while I'm running over there and checking that, this one here it needs watered, but it's not watered or fertilized. So at any rate, I'm going to go ahead and water this one, and you'll see that in this case this grove is just going to get fertilized. It won't be picked. So now, as we can see again, this grove doesn't have fertilizer yet. This grove does have fertilizer. So when I click this person here who's lit up this grove, she's going to ripen that tree. So it's going to be in a ripe state, much like this walnut, I think it's walnut grove is. So let me go ahead and accept her visit, and you'll see these ripen, and they're ready for harvest now. Now in this case here, this one once again is not fertilized, so let me find my person here, if I can. Yes. Okay, now if you'll look over there, you'll see that she's going to fertilize this tree, and that's all she's going to do because it wasn't fertilized. So this is very important when you have visitors coming to your farm. If you want that tree to get ripened, you need to go ahead and fertilize that tree first. Otherwise, they're just going to either water it or fertilize it. So now when we look at this, we'll see that we have a fertilized grove. So the very next action that's going to happen on this grove is in 8 hours it's going to ripen, unless somebody comes along and clicks on this grove as a visitor. And that pretty much wraps up the visitors that we have. Now we have one more visitor here, and all he's doing is feeding animals. So whenever you have a visitor that's feeding animals, just cut them loose. It's fine. It's not going to change the time that the animal's normally going to get fed or anything. It's just going to be an interim feeding, unless that animal has a feed me bubble over its head. Now if it has a feed me bubble over its head, go ahead and feed him first so that you get double the action out of that animal. So now if we look at this Highland cow, he's still got 3 hours and 40 minutes, and typically he's on a 4-hour cycle. No, he's a prized Highland cow. So he's actually on I think it's either a 16 or 18-hour cycle for him. Anyway, that's how you control the activity of your visitors when they come to your farm. Also, when you're visiting farms, try and do the most important things you can. I mean, running through crops may not be necessarily the best way to handle it, especially ripe crops and all that. When I go to someone's farm, I look for trees that need watered, especially things like pines that need a lot of water, limes that need a lot of water. I like to water groves if I can. The next thing I like to do down from the groves, if all their groves are watered and they don't really need that, is I'll go to their animals, especially if there's a quest going on. Right now we have a quest that involves, and it's not on this one, but it's a 10 series quest. It involves a lot of feeding pigs. So today when I'm going to other people's farms, I know that these pigs are needing to be fed in order for them to get through their quests. So I'm just feeding pigs for the most part, unless I get a message that says to do something else. But anyway, that's how you handle visitors on your farm. I hope you found this helpful. If you did, please comment, rate, subscribe. And if you want to play with me, I have a link to my Facebook down below. And I'd love to see you on Farmville too. And hope to catch you in another video. Thanks.